Yes, you guys, welcome back. How you guys are doing today? I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines TV, and today we're here to discuss the latest news that has been doing the rounds today. In today's video, I'm going to focus on three stories. They are going to be on the latest surrounding Lewis Bate and of course the signing to Leeds United. Hear my thoughts and opinions behind that. I'll be discussing the latest news coming out from goal.com surrounding Lewandowski. And of course, earlier today, some shock reports came out from Spain suggesting that Eden Hazard and Real Madrid want him to come back to us. So tons to break down, tons to discuss. Hope you guys enjoy. Of course, show some love, smash a like button or even the dislike button, because for me the engagement is important. And of course, you guys make sure to get involved in the comments as well. So without wasting any more time, to kick things off, you guys, we must discuss Lewis Bate signing for Leeds United earlier today. Now today he signed for Leeds on a 3-year contract. He will be joining up with the under-23 team, and you know, I can imagine what the response is going to be. I mean, how is he leaving one under-23 team to then sign for another one? Was this the best move to leave us under, you know, Thomas Tuchel and the exciting projects we have right now to then end up at Leeds United's academy? Now, you know what, I think that is quite cynical to see things that way. If we actually do the research, which doesn't take too long, we see that Leeds United have a history of promoting players from the under-23 team into their first team. Two recent examples have been their goalkeeper, Meslier, of course, and of course their young Dutch defender in Strikic as well. And there's been a ton more, you know, your Shackletons, your Pervaders, etc, etc. So, you know, this was actually a very smart decision to sign for Leeds United, because Bielsa has a history of working with young players. Bielsa has a history of improving players as well. This was the best possible move to make. Leeds United essentially signed him for 1.5 million, which is absolutely nothing, because with a player like Lewis Bate, with his, you know, incredible ability to switch the ball, play any type of pass, short or long. I mean, this guy is such a positive player, a modern day midfield player. And, you know, to add it all up, you guys, he combines that technique with his passes, with that intensity, with that desire, with that determination in the tackle. For me, this guy will easily be worth at least 10, 20, even, who even knows, maybe 30 times the value, 40 times. He is that good. So all I can say is good luck to Lewis Bate. Of course, you guys, as I've been alluding to for a while, we are going to see an exodus of talent leaving the club. There's so much context surrounding why. Combination of, you know, there's only a finite amount of space. There's only so many positions that are available for young players to take into the team. And of course, you know, we can get into it even deeper, you guys. We can discuss maybe how the club's hierarchy doesn't necessarily allow for young players to get the game time and minutes that, you know, ideally they need at this age to hopefully find themselves in their squads or the first team setup. It's not as simple as that. So I think the reality is, though, is that we should expect many of our talented players to be leaving. Lewis Bate signed for Leeds United today. Livramento is close to signing for Brighton. Samir is close to signing for Southampton as well. Don't you think it's mad that the talent leaving our club right now are playing in the best, highest divisions? They're signing for Prem clubs, they're signing for the best championship teams, they're signing for other clubs in other top divisions. For me, this was always going to happen. I feel like the rest of Europe and other clubs have clocked onto the talent that we're constantly producing. I mean, when you're constantly winning titles and trophies at the academy level for the past 10 years, you must be doing something right. So it would be very smart business if you're a club that's going to look to poach our talent that, you know, maybe if, with different circumstances or contexts, could have positions in the team, but they aren't there. Well, it makes sense to sign these guys up for absolutely nothing, because they will be worth a ton of money in the not too distant future. Yeah, this is what we have to expect, and you know, it will continue to be like this unless those positions are made available. But you know, that's going to be an entirely different topic that I do want to have on this channel. Probably next week, I want to have some guests so we can really just like debate and discuss what exactly is happening with the academy and the setup and the exodus of youth talent right now. So that's the first story out of the way first. In the comments below, you guys, do you think that Lewis Bate made the right move to leave us? Say reasons why you're for or against the move. And now we move on to the second story today, and we turn towards Nizar Kinsella from goal.com, who literally just reported this story like maybe an hour or so ago. It's in regard to Lewandowski, and as we do know, he is a striker on our shortlist for players up front. Now, what does this news surrounding Lewandowski actually mean for us right now? Is this like further evidence and proof that maybe Project HAALAND won't be happening? Project HAALAND might be impossible. Maybe it's time to move on, and we do know that there are other options, and Lukaku has been looked at very heavily, Harry Kane, and of course one being Lewandowski as well. Now, here's what Nazar Gonzalez had to report today, and basically he states that the reality is Bayern Munich, of course, do not want to sell one of their greatest ever players in this type of window. Lewandowski has 2 years left on his existing deal. However, he may be tempted by Pascal's new if the right offer came in for him. And when you look at what we could offer Lewandowski potentially, we have Thomas Tuchel, we have some of the best young players in Europe. We play a very positive, attractive style of football. We're one of the best clubs who plays in one of the best cities in London as well. We have a ton of money too. Honestly, we're one of the most attractive possibilities for players in the market right now. Before I go on to give my thoughts and opinions though, to end Nazar's report today, he does state that of course the club have turned their attentions back to monitoring the situation, and they do want to be kept up to date with what's happening with Lewandowski. So right now, you guys, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions behind this, and I think the first thing to address is the fact that we have to consider now that if players are in their 30s, it does not mean that their careers are close to being over. I mean, we're in the future, you guys. We're in a time now where players can easily play to their late 30s at the highest level. Now they don't have to go to like next leagues and next countries anymore to continue playing football. They can maintain that because sports science and fitness has really reached those levels. We've seen that with Giroud, with Cavani, Thiago Silva, Ronaldo, Messi. You can keep going on and going on. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, in regards to like maybe player contracts in the future, and what direction football will take when it comes to that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's another conversation for a different time. But I mentioned this point, you guys, because if we were to sign Lewandowski, he would still be an incredible signing. My thing is though is that Lewandowski would be that perfect short-term stopgap for right now. What could this possibly mean for future bids made for HAALAND? Because of course, going for Lewandowski implies that HAALAND isn't coming this window and will come next window. Could we be in a situation potentially where this window, let's say we sign Lewandowski, and then next window we go for HAALAND? I'm not too sure, you guys. I don't know exactly how that could work out. I guess a lot of that could rest in the fate of Timo Werner and how he performs next season. Let's say he doesn't play too well, the club won't keep him for no reason. I find that quite hard to believe. And what I find even harder to believe though is the fact that we could potentially look to pay the wages of Lewandowski. I mean, he's on a ridiculous contract right now at Bayern Munich. You won't be asking for less money. You're committing at least 3 years minimum if you're signing him to. The signing on fee for him, for Pini Zahavi, etc. This won't be easy to do. And on top of that, what replacement do Bayern Munich have right now in the market which would allow them to happily let Lewandowski leave? I don't see it happening like that, you guys. As I said earlier, Lewandowski is that perfect short-term player to sign. I think if you sign him, maybe you're committing more to Kai Havertz, because we know that Kai will continue to play that forward role for Thomas Tuchel, and let's say by the time that Lewandowski maybe isn't that potential first-team player in the team, Kai is ready to take over and continue that mantle. That is more realistic to me than us signing Lewandowski and maybe next summer then going for HAALAND. We have to remember, you guys, that with football clubs today, they really are like big corporations. It really is big business. They must be respectful of their accounts. It's not just money they can pull from anywhere out of their arse. It doesn't work like that. Could signing Lewandowski mean goodbye to HAALAND? Personally, I feel like this could be the case. And that's based on the fact that if you look at things from a business point of view, I can't see in any situation how we could afford to pay for a Lewandowski and HAALAND at the same time. And of course, when you have players of this value, how do you use them together? You'd have to, ideally, if you're spending this much money on them, but it won't work like that, and I don't see it happening, to be honest. So it'll be very interesting, you guys. I guess signing Lewandowski means that we have that perfect world-class ability for at least the next 2-3 years if he does come. And then I guess the thing would be to wait to see who else arrives from the market within those next few years. At the same time though, is this the best business to do? Would it be better for us to invest that outlay right now on HAALAND? Skip the competition. Football waits for no one. You know what I mean? Let's say next season, Madrid's come back, Barca come back, new investment comes in from somewhere. That can distort our plans for next season very easily. Considering the money that Lewandowski is going to cost, would that not make more sense maybe to invest that outlay onto HAALAND, even though he's going to cost 150 million? I'm not too sure, you guys, but I'm going to pose that question to you guys in the comments below. So right now, I'm going to end things with the final story today, and we are going to discuss the reports surrounding Eden Hazard. Now, you know what, I do have to say, man, that this report is coming up from Didario AS, and they're not the most reputable, most legit source, but one thing we do know is that Real Madrid right now are in a financial pickle. We know that Eden Hazard, one of their biggest signings for a while, on a ridiculous contract too. He's been suffering with injury after injury after injury, and Madrid's, well, they're not getting a return on their investment at all. The reports from them and from Spain are suggesting that Madrid want to offer him back to us for up to 50 million. Now, considering we sold him for close to 120 million, this is a bit of a bargain in that sense, and it makes sense from Madrid's point of view because, of course, they probably still owe us money when it comes to the signing of Eden Hazard. So I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions right now, and I think you guys kind of know me. I am very sentimental, I can't help that, and you know, just the thought of Eden Hazard returning back to Stamford Bridge, the Eden Hazard I saw that was the sole reason behind our success between 2012 to 2020. Can I just disregard a player like this, a player of this history, because he's been injured for like a year and a half? Personally, I don't think so. And to be honest, I have more faith in our medical department compared to the medical teams in Spain, to be honest with you. So let's say business like that did happen. Hey, I'm not going to say turn down Hazard because of a few injuries. I'm sorry, I couldn't do that. What is interesting though is that if he were to commit to this deal, if there was even like the truth behind it, because of course there's nothing behind the story right now, I'm going to tell you guys straight. Of course, it's going to have massive repercussions for your Vernons, your Pulisics, and of course your Hudson-Odois, players that all kind of play down that left side channel. You sign a Hazard, what are you saying about them? You know, it's not simple business. Hazard's coming back, you're paying tons of wages. You're then paying wages for players that most likely won't find a position in the team, who are on big contracts themselves. It just doesn't add up like that. And I feel like clubs are a lot more responsible now with how they try to reinvest into the team. Who knows though? Even if it was one of them ones where Hazard came back as a 33-year-old, I mean, you've seen it with Henry going to Arsenal and you know, other legends coming back to their clubs. I think as a fan, that fan in me, I love to see something like that. I think it's good to, you know, respect the history of the players that actually, you know, bring the trophies and that have really played their part in a club's history. But that's just me. But even though I would like to see him back, and I do think some of the things I've been seeing on social media, the disrespect that Hazard's been getting, like the revisionism, you know, it's no surprise to me why it takes like this to exist, because football is a sport where you can't really respect the history. Because how can you? You know, if you wanted to watch like a Lampard clip from the 09-10 season, you can't do that anywhere. You know, we don't keep the data, we don't keep the history available. It's no surprise why people then don't care too much about it, and it's this constant thing of what happens today or what comes tomorrow. But yeah, you guys, for me, you know, of course this is a non-story. It's nice to think about, and of course with something like this, it's always more interesting for me to read what you guys have to say about the story. So on that note, I'm going to wrap things up, keep things moving. Thank you for watching. I'm the EFC, this is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.